got Falcons and the Buccaneers, and I just realized there's a lot of NFC South divisional games this week. Carolina Saints,
Yeah,
Bucks, and the Falcons.
they were both division. They were both division games.
Yeah,
The the Bucks have managed to pull themselves out from the bottom and put themselves in second place in the division.
yeah, that's crazy. You know what's also more crazy? They already have more wins than they have in the past 2 years combined.
Ah, believe it.
It's true.
Yeah, 6 wins. I guess that would be more.
Yeah,
That's like triple last year, right?
yeah, already triple last year. So, uh,
Good job,
I know,
Bucks.
good job. So, realistically speaking, though, I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning of the season, I wasn't much believer in Jameis Winston. I thought Bucks were still gonna maybe go like on a 2 or 3 game wins, and that was it.
Yeah.
But now they're talking like serious playoff contender. I mean, obviously Carolina be undefeated is winning the play or getting the division, but
Yeah, they've got the division locked down already.
right. But I mean, I'm just saying they're a very serious contender for a wild card spot at 6-6 for the Buccaneers. Man, like they,
Yeah.
I guess maybe I should be more of a believer of Winston. He's definitely figuring out how to win these games, and you can't say that he's not a tough son of a bitch after that 130-yard run that he had for a first down.
After, the Falcons started, what, 5-0?
Yeah,
Now they've lost 5 games in a row. And they lost both times they played to the Buccaneers, so the Buccaneers have the tiebreaker.
yeah,
And I believe that the Bucks are actually only sitting one game out of the wild card spot right now.
right.
So yeah, they definitely are a serious contender, and it's crazy because early in the season I kind of had them written off. The Saints and the Bucks both looked like they were playing pretty rough, and I kind of thought the Bucks were done, but maybe not.
Yeah,
Was it last week when Winston went off? Had a crazy,
5 touchdowns,
like
something like that.
crazy,
Yeah,
something like that. And
yeah,
then today, yeah, or today, I mean, this week he followed up with pretty strong performance. It wasn't great. 200 something yards, ran a touchdown and threw a touchdown, got
mm-hmm.
picked. But still, they won. I mean, he outplayed Matty Ice.
He did.
So,
You know, here's what's kind of ironic in a way. I feel what's contributing to the Bucks is Doug Martin has stepped it up big time for their run game.
yeah,
He
yeah,
really has. I mean, this is it's to the point where if not a top 5 running back in the league, definitely a top 10 for
yeah.
Doug Martin. Which
I would,
we did rank him in the top 10 at week 8 for the midseason, analysis,
okay.
but he might have jumped up
We were
higher than that
talking
now.
about.
What's that?
So we knew what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, hope so. uh, on the flip side, with the Falcons, with a 5 game losing streak, Devontae Freeman fell off the face of the earth suddenly, and
Yeah,
Julio Jones is just seems it. It's almost like they flip flopped because in the beginning of the season you had Jameis Winston, this young promising rookie. You have Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans, talented wide receivers, and then Devontae or Doug Martin, who's supposed to be like your big time running back, and then Falcons have Roddy White, Julio Jones, and Devontae Freeman and Matty Ice, and it's like their whole roles are just completely flip flopped right now, and it's really weird how that happens.
that's actually it's a pretty good point. They have pretty much flip flopped. The Bucks were having a pretty rough start, and the Falcons were on fire, and now we're looking at the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty spot
Not
on
that like,
analysis.
not as if that maybe Roddy White has been having like a fantastic season, but Julio Jones is kind of like you don't really even hear about it anymore. Like, okay, maybe he gets touchdowns here, there, maybe he'll get like a 100-yard reception,
Yeah,
but
he's usually good for a touchdown or 100 yards a game, something like that.
right, but like
So
you're seeing
we're
it less and
underrating him maybe a
less.
little bit here, but
You're seeing it less and less
yeah,
though. Definitely in the last 5 weeks. Uh,
yeah,
it's not being like relevant, and maybe it's not relevant because they're losing. I don't know, but it's definitely he just doesn't seem like the same guy. And which is, I guess, even more ironic. You're joking around. I hope at least we know what we're talking about. I said back
Yeah.
in week 8 that I didn't believe in Matty Ice. I felt he had a good team around him, but I
Well,
didn't.
I was actually thinking that the problem is more quarterback than Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Not that Matt Ryan's playing bad, but he has had some pretty rough games. This one wasn't really a bad game. He's not wowing. In seasons past, he would have games where he would just kind of put the team on his back, and for whatever reason, I mean, what's the problem with the Falcons right now? On paper, they're the same damn team they were that went 6-0.
Yeah.
You know, I know they've dealt with some injuries, but there's no excuse for five in a row.
I mean,
Five losses in a row. I mean,
Devontae Freeman had that concussion, but like you can't just say that your entire team's
yeah,
gonna fall apart. I mean, you still have Coleman, who was your original running back in the
right.
beginning of the season anyway. I don't know. It's confusing, I really don't understand how that all came about.
Atlanta is at risk if they don't get their shit together now. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no more fooling around. There's no more. Well, maybe next. It's got to happen this week because if they don't start winning this week, they're not going to the playoffs.
Oh, definitely.
The playoff race is too tight. Like whatever excuse it is, whatever Atlanta fans, whatever justification there's been, the time to use that is gone. It's time to win the fucking game, because otherwise you're gonna be sitting on the bench watching the game with me and the Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it's gonna be. It's time to win or go home. Literally, that's it.
And you know, this was an overall like close game. I mean, it truly was. The
It,
only
it was. It wasn't a phenomenal game by either side. I don't
No, it
think
really wasn't. But
it's
it was
pretty
pretty damn
ugly.
close. The only thing that really
It's
contributed
pretty standard.
is that the Buccaneers had a touchdown in the first quarter, and otherwise they
Yeah.
tied it all up. All around. They
Right, and the Falcons kicked a bunch of field goals.
so did the Bucs though. In the third quarter.
I'm talking in the first half. They responded to a touchdown with the field goals, and
Oh
then
yeah,
and then Atlanta finally responded, and the Bucs kicked a bunch of field goals.
yeah,
It was an ugly game. You could tell. I mean, NFC South games a lot of times are ugly. I mean, this division games. That's just how it is. It was the complete opposite, I guess, of the other division game, which was a shootout.
yeah,
Not necessarily the complete opposite, because it wasn't really a defensive struggle. It was just an ugly game, and the Bucs pulled it off. The Bucs are a gritty team, man. And they might not win pretty, but they've been winning.
yeah. They
And
can figure it
sometimes they
out.
do win pretty.
Yeah.
So
So I think
they're going to be an interesting team to watch down the stretch. Both of these teams are going to be interesting to watch down the stretch, because honestly, I don't know how it's going to go for either team.
no.
I mean, now, I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's definitely all up in the air at this point, and I think with that we could probably wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so.
So, if you have any more comments about either team, you can always leave us in the comment section below. Otherwise, we have links in the description below for both Facebook and Twitter, and you can hopefully follow us there. So, I don't know, these teams flip flops, man. It's like the Twilight Zone in here. The mirror. I don't know. That's the Twilight Zone episode I just made up.